I look too good to be alone. My house clean, my pool warm, just shake smooth like a newborn. We should be dancing, romancing in the east wing and the west wing of this mansion. What's happening? I ain't playing no games. Every word that I say is coming straight from the heart. So if you're trying to lay in these arms, I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, girl. I'ma leave the door open. That you feel the way I feel and you want me like I want you tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming through. Ooh, you're so sweet, so tight, I won't bite unless you like. If you smoke, what you smoke? I got the haze. And if you're hungry, girl, I got fillets. Ooh, baby, don't keep me waiting. There's so much love we could be making. I'm talking kissing, cuddling, rose petals in the bathtub. Girl, it's jumping, it's bubbling. I ain't playing no games. Every word that I say is coming straight from the heart. So if you're trying to lay in these arms, I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, girl. I'ma leave the door open. That you feel the way I feel and you want me like I want you tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming through. La 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 la, I need you, baby. La la la, la la la, I got to see you, baby. La la la, la 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 la, girl, I'm trying to give you this. Hey, I'ma leave my door open. I'ma leave the door open, baby. I'ma leave my door open, girl. And I'm hoping that you feel the way I feel and you want me like I want you tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming
Uy, Mars, good job ka. Kasi yung puwet ng anak mo, ang smooth.
Ikaw, good job, Mars.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along. Only back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. what you wanna do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. The love is too high to bring me down. Can't none bring me down. I said, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make a mess. So I said quietly, agreed politely. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I let you push me past the breaking point. I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything. You held me down, but I got up, already brushing off the dust. You hear my voice, you hear that sound, like thunder gonna shake the ground. You held me down, but I got up. Get ready, 'cause I've had enough. I see it all, I see it now. I got the eye of the tiger, the fire, dance while. Take control on me just for the night. But if I share my secret, you're gonna have to keep it. Nobody else can see this. So watch and learn. I won't show you twice. Head to toe, oh baby, run it right. But if I share my secret, you're gonna have to keep it. Nobody else can see this.
And it goes like this. Take me by the tongue and I know you. Kiss me till you're drunk and I'll show you all the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I don't need to try to control you. Look into my eyes and I'll own you with the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I wake up, my shoulder's cold. I've got to leave here before I go. I pull my shirt on, walk out the door, drag my feet along the floor. I pull my shirt on, walk out the door, drag my feet along the floor. Then I see you, you're walking across the campus, cool professor studying romances. How am I supposed to pretend I never want to see you again? How am I supposed to pretend I never want to see you again? Walk to class in front of ya, spilled coffee on your keffia. You look inside and turn to the door, drag your feet along the floor. Then I see you, you're walking across the campus, cool professor studying romances. How am I supposed to pretend I never want to see you again? How am I supposed to pretend I never want to see you again? In the afternoon, you're out on the stone and grass, and I'm sleeping on the balcony after class. In the afternoon, you're out on the stone and grass, and I'm sleeping on the balcony after class. In the afternoon, you're out on the stone and grass, and I'm sleeping on the balcony after class. In the afternoon, you're out on the stone and grass, and I'm sleeping on the balcony after class. I hear a lot about sinners. I I got my peaches out in Georgia. Oh yeah, shit. I get my weed from California. That's that shit. I took my chick up to the north, yeah. Badass bitch. I get my light right from the source, yeah. Yeah, that's it. And I see you, the way I breathe you in. It's the texture of your skin. I wanna wrap my arms around you, baby, never let you go. And I see you, there's nothing like your touch. It's the way you lift me up, yeah. And I'll be right here with you till the end. I got my peaches out in Georgia. Oh yeah, shit. I get my weed from California. That's that shit. I took my chick up to the north, yeah. Badass bitch. I get my light right from the source, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
You ain't sure yet, but I'm for ya. All I could want, all I could wish for. Nights alone that we miss more, and days we save as souvenirs. There's no time, I wanna make more time and give you my whole life. I left my girl, I'm in my Yorker. Hate to leave it, call it torture. Remember when I couldn't hold her? Left her baggage for a mover.
I got my peaches out in Georgia. Oh yeah, shit. I get my weed from California. That's that shit. I took my chick up to the north, yeah. Badass bitch. I get my light right from the source, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I get the feeling, so I'm sure. And in my hand because I'm yours. I can't pretend, I can't ignore you right from me. Don't think you wanna know just where I've been. Done being distracted. The one I need is right in my arms. Your kisses taste the sweetest with mine. And I'll be right here with you till the end.
I got my peaches out in Georgia. Oh yeah, shit. I get my weed from California. That's that shit. I took my chick up to the north, yeah. Badass bitch. I get my light right from the source, yeah. Yeah, that's it. I got my peaches out in Georgia. Oh yeah, shit. I get my weed from California. That's that shit. I took my chick up to the north, yeah. Badass bitch. I get my light right from the source, yeah. Yeah, that's it. I got my peaches out in Georgia. Oh yeah, shit. I get my weed from California. That's that shit. I took my chick up to the north, yeah. Badass bitch. I get my light right from the source, yeah. Yeah, that's it. I got my peaches out in Georgia. Oh yeah, shit. I get my weed from California. That's that shit. I took my chick up to the north, yeah. Badass bitch. I get my light right from the source, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
My way, but I'm far away, but I'll keep running just to find a way to you till then. I've been running from it, tired of running from it, scared of feeling something now, stuck and trying to get up out of this hole. I tried to be strong, I tried to make it work, but I've been feeling too numb. Skies are bleeding on me. Why'd you leave me lonely? Feeling wetly stony now. Stuck and wonder where I ever went wrong. How could I be strong? I'm fighting for your love. I can't wait for you to come my way. I've been far away, but I'll keep running just to find a way to you till then. I don't see light in your love anymore. There ain't no reason I'm going to fall. I don't like feelings and feeling like running for something and feeling so out of control. I know that the feelings are gone. I'm spending so much time alone. I'm hoping you pick up the phone and ring me when you wanna stay over at night. My shoulders pain, my baby. to come my way. I've been far away, but I'll keep running just to find a way to you till then. Ain't never gonna let you go. Got my heart, NASCAR racing, shining, never fading. He just left you hanging, feeling for your love, all worth it for the waiting. Give you what you need, take you where you want. Can feel it when we're all alone. Know you're wanting something more. My heart is like an open door. Just ring me when you wanna go. Oh, wait till you're home. Hold a place till you're coming home. Show you where the garden grows. Just ring me when you wanna go. I can't wait for you to come my way. I've been far away, but I'll keep running just to find a way to you till then.
afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this semester's alternative class program. You have chosen to attend the topic, Finding Joy in the Ordinary, Mobile Photography Workshop. I'm Nikka Isabel Nazareno, your host for this ACP session. You are requested to be in the Zoom room until the end of the activity. We kindly remind all of you to observe proper etiquette, remain muted for the entire talk proper of the workshop to avoid distracting the speaker and your fellow participants. Although not required, we also encourage you to open your cameras for the duration of the workshop. Finally, may we ask you to please make sure that your Zoom names are your real names for attendance checking. Allow me now to share with you the schedule of today's ACP workshop. There will be two parts. The first part is the talk of the resource speaker, and the second part is the open forum. Should you have any questions or comments relative to the presentation of the speaker or the topic, please post them on the Zoom chat. Please state your name, the school or organization you represent, and your brief question or comments. Later, during the open forum, we will address them through the speaker. No unrelated and offensive posts, please. Let us all be respectful. E-certificates will be given to those who will finish the entire workshop and accomplish the evaluation form. We will provide the link for the evaluation at the end of this ACP workshop. We hope that you will gain new and useful learning for this workshop. To properly begin this workshop, may we now invite each of us to settle down and feel the presence of the Lord for the opening prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
I beg to fall in love with thee, my Lord, with every breath of life I take. I beg to fall in love with thee, my Lord, its every beat I to thee forsake. For even if my thoughts fall short of knowing you, and even if my will runs terrified, your passion thins the darkness of my soul, sheds its light, breathes its life, stills the murmur of the night. I beg to fall in love with thee, my Lord, with every breath of life I take. I beg to fall in love with thee, my Lord, its every beat I to thee forsake. For even if my heart falls short of loving you, and even if my spirit flies away, your love for me surpasses all my fears. I do, all I do, all I am, all that I can ever be. I beg to fall in love with thee, my Lord, with every breath of life I take.
welcome all of us in this ACP offering. We have with us the Executive Director of the Office of Mission and Identity, Miss Janet P. Badong Badilla.
Good day, everyone, especially to you, our dear students. Welcome to this year's alternative class program activities. The ACT, as we know, is one of the structures by which we are able to concretize for you an experience of Jesuit education, where we are able to assist in your total formation as individual persons endowed with God's gifts. Through our ACP, we hope that we are able to help in the development of your imaginative, affective, and creative dimensions, especially in your life here as a student in the Ateneo de Naga. This school year, 2020-2021, as you know, has been a very challenging time for each one of us. With the COVID-19 pandemic, our life has been changed. Our way of learning and doing, our studies particularly, have been changed. Our manner of relating with others, even with our closest friends, has been changed. For many of us, these changes, even with more than a year already in the pandemic, we are still just learning the ways to cope, to adjust, and to adapt to this new world, to this new normal that we have, to this new online class that we have. As we offer this opportunity then to learn and grow through the ACP outside the regular classrooms, we express our cura personalis, our care and concern, our commitment of formation and service to you, dear students. With our theme this year, Better Normal, Activate Your E-Magis Nation, we hope to affirm the glory of God in ourselves, in oneself, which is an important dimension of cura personalis and magis, which also happens to be two of our core values in the Ateneo de Naga. Both cura personalis and magis bring us rather to an orientation toward God and others, to become one with God and with others. A oneness with humanity that brings about our gratitude, our sense of belongingness, our sense of being in a Christian family, friendship, companionship, cooperation, and service to our community. Here in Ateneo, we claim that our students learn not only to care for and respect individuals at a personal level, but also welcome opportunities that ensure growth to the fullest extent possible, a kind of growth that brings about wholeness and love, not just for oneself, but for one another. The choice to activate our E-Magis Nation is up to you, dear students. On our part, we can only create and offer you opportunities. It's up to you to grab these right opportunities that we have for you in the Ateneo. As we go about this year's ACP, then I hope that we will be able to appreciate the gift or gifts of Ignatian education, of Jesuit education, to make a better normal for you in these challenging times. So again, with this ACP, welcome. Enjoy the sessions. Choose the activity where you think you can learn the most. Good day.
I know that we are all ready and excited to begin and meet our resource speaker for this year's Alternative Class Program or ACP. Before that, Let's have a brief background about the ACP. Let's watch this.
Hello Ateneans, welcome to your Alternative Class Program, or ACP. I am Jobelle, your OPA, or Online Public Address Announcer for the ACP. Here is what you need to know about ACP. The ACP is one concrete expression of the Ignatian Formation Program and a major student activity. It is conducted every semester to provide college students with formative topics or activities outside of their regular classroom routine and daily schedule, in support of the university's uniquely Jesuit educational goals. Instead of attending their classes for the day, students choose at least one topic or activity from among the offerings during the ACP day. Carefully selected resource speakers from different fields of specialization are invited to share their knowledge, skills, and inspire students to nurture their personal development, pursue their aspirations, and partake in social advocacies or causes. You may have missed your ACP last semester, and the organizers may not be able to implement a face-to-face ACP at this time, and until the situation permits us to return to the campus and our classrooms, but OSA and its partners are confident that their experience in delivering formation programs and student services via online platforms and the support of the university community shall help in still providing a truly formative ACP experience to students in the new setting. This semester's ACP is designed to make use of available platforms like Zoom, Google Meet, and social media streaming features. Hence, health safety protocols are observed and access of students is assured. The theme #BetterNormal, Activate Your Imagination is a call for us to break from the so-called old normal and to activate our creative imagination to understand not only our personal context, but also our social situations, and to come up with new and better ways of living in the pandemic despite the limitations. It is a challenge to do action on how we, the Ateneans, can create a better environment for us and the larger society outside the gates of the university, or shall I say, outside our online classrooms. The BetterNormal channels the Ignatian concept of magis, discerning to do the greater good in new channels and media, and by doing acts of service and love for God and for the nation. The ACP thus aims that the students are able to first, acquire knowledge and or skills that are relevant to one's interest, talent, skills, passion, advocacy. Next, relate or share the learning and insight gained from the topic or activity in conversation or dialogue and personal reflection. Next, examine the importance of one's interest, talent, skill, passion, advocacy to the development of the society, and seek ways or opportunities by which the gained or enhanced knowledge or skills can be further advanced and used for the benefit of the immediate organization or community or larger society. Listen, understand, discern, share, act. I hope that we will all take to heart our engagement in the ACP. Don't forget to learn and have fun while we experience ACP. Ateneans,
we are all clear on why we are all here and what ACT is all about. Now, without further ado, let me introduce to you our resource speaker. Our speaker for this afternoon has more than 25 years of experience in project management, networking, training, capability building, and communication. She has been involved in various programs on evangelization, interreligious dialogue, peace communication, media education, and youth empowerment. She has been focusing on the use of social media for evangelization, advocacy, and education in the past 6 years, teaching parents, educators, priests, seminarians, and the religious. After graduating from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, with a bachelor's degree in psychology, she dedicated 9 years as a youth minister with the Christ Youth in Action. She then shifted to media evangelization and headed the training department of the Communication Foundation for Asia for 8 years before she ended her term in January 2015. She was the mission director of the Word of Foundation Incorporated, the publishing arm of the Ang Ligaya ng Panginoon Covenant Community, and the Philippine editor of the Word Among Us magazine. Currently, she is a faculty member of Mary Help of Christian Theology Seminary in San Fabian, Pangasinan, teaching the course on social communication and a regular facilitator lecturer on media and evangelization in the Mother of Life Catechetical Institute, SVD Postulancy Program, Sojourn Formation Program, Formation Institute for the Religious, and Emmanuel School of Mission. During the COVID pandemic, she started her podcast, Gentle Streams, available on Spotify, Anchor.fm, and other podcast sites. It features prayers, reflections, poems, and book excerpts with the goal of inspiring people, especially during this time. Let us all welcome Miss Maria Cristita Bob Lopez. Good afternoon po, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? I'm glad to be here. So let me share my screen. All right. So again, good afternoon. I am Bob Lopez, and thank you for joining me in this workshop on mobile photography. And I hope that as you learn more tricks in taking photos with your digital twins, I know they are your digital twins because they are always with you, you will find joy even in the ordinary things around you. Like this picture of flowers that I took. I just saw the flowers in the bucket and I took a picture of it, and it gives me so much joy just looking at this. No, this is not a painting. This is actual raw photo. And as you have the session, I want us to see everything around us with fresh eyes through new lenses, so that you will be able to capture everything that you see. We want to catch glimpses of beauty and joy around us and share that to the world through social media, because the world needs to see more of them, especially during this pandemic. So what will we learn this afternoon in this workshop of finding joy in the ordinary? First, we'll talk about photography. So what is it actually? What is its role in our lives? Next, phone cams. Do we really need expensive phones to have good photos? And then, what's your visual story? What do you want to capture through your cameras? So under this section, we will talk about composition, about choosing the subject, angles, and background. And lastly, if we still have time, we will go to editing. And I really hope that we will have time for it, even just for a short time. Okay, so let me start. Photography. What is photography? Can you chat what are the two words in the word photograph or in photography?
You belong to a community that
Okay. What are the two words in photograph? Yes, that's right. Photo and graph. Thank you very much, Charissa. Okay. And what do you think is photo? What does it mean? Photo, like photosynthesis. What is photo? What does photo mean? Again, you can use a chat box. Light, very good. Image, actually, it's light. Thank you very much for all your answers. How about graph? What does graph mean? What does graph mean? If photo is light, graph means what? Like autograph or lithograph, or it's related to glyphs or hieroglyphics. What does graph mean? Illustration, yes, close to that. It's close to illustration. What else? Canvas, drawing, illustration, chart, image. Okay. Oh, so thank you for your answers. So you're very close to it. When you talk about image, when you talk about illustration, when you talk about representation, that's actually what photograph means. But graph means, yes, that's writing or drawing. So photo is light, graph is draw or write. Therefore, photography means drawing or writing with light. So the light passes through the lenses to create the image. And why do you take photographs? What are the uses of photography? Why do you keep taking pictures, especially with your phone cams? For memories, that's right. What else? Especially with social media, what do images do? Yes, that's right. To capture memories. Thank you. To capture memorable events, right? Communication, documentation, souvenir, to freeze time and to express. Thank you very much for your answers. Yes, that's right. So what are the uses of photography? Especially with social media, they connect us. Images connect us. They create and maintain relationships. And they actually tell stories. They convey stories, they express emotions, they express stories, right? And yes, to educate also. And lastly, to capture memories. We want to capture memories. We want to freeze time, as you said. That is right. And when you look at images, an image tells a story. It triggers a memory, conveys an emotion, expresses an idea, and exhorts an action. An image is very, very powerful. From Blessed Lozano Garrido, he said, "Open your eyes with wonder to what you see. Let your hands touch the freshness and vitality of things, so that when others read what you write, they too can touch firsthand the vibrant miracle of life." Through images, we are able to convey, we are able to share what we see with other people, so that even if they don't go to the places we've been, it's as if they've been there. I travel a lot and I like to capture images in the sky, on the road, everything. And like this one, it captures a heart in the sky. And we want others to be awed as we are awed by the different images that we see. And through this session, I want us to see everything in a new light. That through camera lenses, we are able to convey joy and peace and hope, our emotions, the vitality of life. Through our camera lenses, we are able to express our love, our hope, our awe of things, so that other people would share all these things with us. So first, so that's about photography. Now let's talk about cameras. We actually need expensive cameras? Not really. But if we want to create better photos, it would be good to check resolution, to check for resolution. The higher the resolution, the better, of course. And then let's also check the different modes in the cameras that we will buy, or in the phones that we will buy, so that we will be more flexible in the images that we will take. Okay, as we take images, we will be able to adjust the different modes so that we will be able to take the photos the way we want to take them. So again, we go back. Do we need to buy expensive cameras? Not really. Oftentimes, the best cameras would be the ones that you have at hand. So whatever your camera is, that's fine. What is important is the story that you will convey, the images that you will share. Okay. So now you have your cameras. What's the first thing that you do before you take a picture? Of course, you want to clean the lenses. Sometimes we are surprised that why we get blurred photos. We check all the modes and they are still blurred. Sometimes it's just because the lenses are not clean. So clean your lenses with a soft cloth. Okay, not with very rough cloth, because otherwise it would have abrasions. The next thing to remember is how you hold your camera. Okay, you can hold your camera like this or like this, but what is important, you have to keep your elbows close to your body. Don't extend your arm too much, because it will make your cameras too shaky. So as much as possible, because you will be the tripod. So you want to make sure that your cameras, your phones are steady when you take the picture. The next thing to check is the camera modes. Every camera or every phone camera would have different camera modes. And as early as now, I want to tell you, experiment with all the modes so that when you take a picture, when you want to capture an image at the moment, you would know how to adjust your camera. So again, depending on the phone, the camera modes would differ. So you would see these things, okay, or these things. So again, play around with it, experiment with it. I will not be able to go through everything, but there will be just some things that I will mention right now that you might want to know about. First is ISO. What does ISO mean? ISO means it's a camera setting that will brighten or darken a photo. Okay, so it controls the amount of light that enters your camera, and it has a huge impact on the darkness or brightness of the image. For example, like this one. Okay, so ISO 100 is dark, while ISO 1600 is bright. But it's the same image, it's the same scenery, but because of the ISO adjustment, the scene before you becomes bright or dark. The next thing that I want to mention here is the aperture it refers to the opening of the lens diaphragm through which light passes. So you would see that you call it f-stops. Okay. So you have here f over 16, 11, 1.4. So, and the lower the f-stop, the larger the opening of the blur of the background. So, and if your opening, if the f-stop is big, is higher, then the smaller the opening of the lens. Later on, I will talk about the depth of field, and then the lower the background. Example, like this one, if you can see the image on the left would have a very blurred background. So the aperture is set at f2.8. So there is less depth of field, meaning depth of field is the clarity, the distance. So if you talk about distance, so if it is less depth of field, the farther images in the frame would still be clear. So it would be blurred if that's less depth of field. Okay, and the image on the right, the aperture is set at f11, and then there is greater depth of field. As you can see, the images at the back can be seen. So that is great. That's what it means when there is greater depth of field. Okay, let's look at this image. So aperture is 5.6, and it produced a very shallow depth of field, meaning only the foreground is very, very clear while the background is very blurred. And it is said, an important note is to set your focal point on the subject's eye. Later, I'll talk about the rule of thirds. So in the rule of thirds, the eye of the subject should be at the intersection. Later on, again, I'll discuss that. So this image has a very shallow depth of field. Unlike this one, it has a higher level of depth of field. That's why you can see even the farther images, okay, of the scene. Next, we'll talk about shutter speed. It is a speed at which the shutter of the camera closes. So if the image is moving, it's better that the shutter speed is fast so that you can capture it. Otherwise, you will not be able to capture the scene, the moving scene before you, and it will become blurred, like this one. Okay. So on the right side, the image is the shutter is put on slow. That's why it's kind of blurred. So again, I wish I could talk some more about the modes, but as I said earlier, I encourage you to experiment with your cameras. Anyway, if you have time, if you have the space in your phones, go ahead and take shots. Anyway, that's for free. So experiment. Now, the next part is one of the most important parts in photography. And what is it? Creating your story. What is the story? What is your story? The reason why photographers are very expensive is not just because they know all the camera modes, but they know how to tell their story. Okay. If you see the same thing, other people would take it differently. They will have different images of it depending on the story that they want to tell. And part of that story is the idea of composition. What is composition? You would always hear that when you talk about photography. composition is the placement of arrangement of visual elements. So you have different, for example, you have a tree, and then you have a river. Depending on the person, depending on what you want to take a picture of, you can take a picture of the tree and make it your subject and tell the story of the tree, or you can focus on the grass beside the tree and make it your story. Okay, so it is important that we know our story. That's why it can be very, very tiring to take photos, because we want to be clear about the story. And I want to share with you the different principles of composition in photography. So again, as I'm talking about story, the first principle is to take pictures with a purpose. You don't just take pictures randomly. You want to create a story. What do you want to portray? What do you want to convey through your images? So again, you have different scenes. You have different things before you. But what do you want to take a picture of? And what do you want to share with your viewers? If you are very clear about your story, then what should be in the photo to tell your story? Or what image or images would best communicate that? For example, you want to tell a story about motherhood. Then you would take a picture of a mother and a child. Okay. If you want to talk about nature, of course you want to take a picture of nature, of a scenery, of a landscape. Okay. And so it is very important that you know your story so that you will know the purpose of your photograph. So knowing your story, you have to choose the subject. And if you're choosing the subject, it has to be very, very clear that you're able to share. That it should be very clear with your audience the center of interest. For example, in this photograph, okay, clearly the center of interest is the bougainvillea, the pink photograph, the pink flower, because it is standing out. Unlike this image, we have so many things in the image that you don't actually have a center of interest. Now, what are the things that can help you in having a center of interest? First, find color. Okay, look at the colors around you. Okay, I want you now to move your eyes around the room and look for colors. Look for colors. Then, because as you use colors, you will make your images come alive, just like this image. The image of flowers, the image of colors, they make the photograph just become so alive to your viewers. And then as you look for colors, you can look for contrast, like this one. So you have one colorful image with a background of a plain background, of a plain color. So the color, the flower just stands out. Or this one, heart. Okay. And then, so am I saying that all your photos should be colored? Not really. If you want to take photographs that are black and white, you can take a picture. Of course, you can choose to have your cameras in black and white, but you can also do the black and white. You can edit the pictures, the colored pictures, to black and white in your post-production. And when you do want to have black and white photos, look for lights and shadows so that the black and white image would be more alive, would be more aesthetic. Okay. Look for colors. Next, look for lines. Look for leading lines. Leading lines would be having lines that would lead the eyes of the viewer to your focal point. For example, this one. Okay. This one. This was taken in Carolina. Okay. Next principle is following the rule of thirds. What does that mean? Following the rule of thirds, this rule means that our subject shouldn't, our subject doesn't have to be at the center every time, unless it's a photo. Unless it's a portrait, okay, or ID picture. Of course, you should have it in at the center. Okay. So what can help you with this rule? In your cameras, you would see this grid. So with this grid in mind, the rule of thirds identifies 4 important parts of the image that you should consider placing points of interest in as you frame your image. Okay, that means the center of attention, the center of interest should be at the intersection of the grid, of the lines. Okay. So that you are able to lead people to the center of interest that you want them to see. Most of the cameras would have their grids. Okay, so what you can do is to turn on the grid to help you follow the rule of thirds. So you can turn on the grid, or you can just imagine it in your frame when you take pictures. So again, the subject doesn't have to be at the center. Okay. Because putting the center of interest at the center makes the image less interesting. So you can put the image off center, and it makes your image more interesting, more aesthetically attractive. Okay. So the theory is that if you place points of interest in the intersections or along the lines your photo becomes more balanced. It will lead the viewer to interact with the image more. And the best would be to have the eyes of the subject at the intersection. Do you remember the bird earlier? The eye of the bird is at the intersection of the grid. Okay. It makes it more appealing. It makes it more interactive to the viewer. Okay. And then, just another note, if you have a subject move facing one side, then the person should face an empty space, unlike this one. Okay, so you call that walking space. So instead of this, it seems like the image is facing a wall. So a better way of doing it is placing the subject on the left side so that it's as if she is facing an empty space. How about landscape? Same thing. It should follow the rule of thirds. Even inanimate objects, rule of thirds. Or if you want to use a photograph for social graphics, for example, and you want to put text, it would be good to have an object on one side, like this one. Or this one. So you are assuming that the elephant will move forward or to the right. Here are other examples. And then when you take photographs of buildings, it might be best to take it at an angle so that it would be a different shot. because a lot of people would take a shot of the building in front of the building, right in front of the building. But when you take a picture of it on an angle, like such as this one, it makes it more unique. It makes it more attractive and interactive as well. So again, it is best that the image is put on the side, not always at the center. Just a quick exercise. You have your phones with you. I don't know if you've seen the note that I sent in the Google Classroom, but just a quick exercise right now is for you to turn on your grid on your phones, or if you don't have the that mode on your phones, that's fine. You can just imagine it, and then take a picture of an object in front of you, and then put it on the intersection of the grid. I will give you just 1 minute, just 1 minute to do it. Are you able to do it? Now, for 10 seconds, I want you to open your cameras and then just put your cameras, the photos in front of your cameras right now. I mean, in front of your laptops, for example, and show us your picture. If you can, I'll give you 10 seconds. Oh, good. Thanks, Stacy. How about the others? Oh, okay. It's at the center, MJ. Yeah, good. Very good. Very good. Oh, that's so cute. Is that, what do you call that? A grass? What do you call, is it a pot? All right. Okay, thank you very much for sharing. By the way, I suggest that when you take photos in this orientation, landscape more than portrait. Because with landscape, you're able to have more in the frame, and you will be able to edit it more. Okay. So get used to taking pictures in landscape mode more than in portrait. All right. Unless you really need to have it. For example, if it's really a portrait, if you want to take a picture of someone for an ID picture, for example, then take a picture na portrait instead of landscape. But again, start to train yourself to take pictures in landscape mode. Okay, next principle is to check all points of view. So there are many ways of taking a photograph, and I want us to experiment in the different points of view. Because for every point of view, for every angle, for every type of shot, you are conveying different things. So let's talk about types of shots. First, types of shots by content. So what does that mean? What are the different shots by content? First, the long or full shot. So you would see everything, the whole body, for example, of a person. That's a full shot. Okay? And then you have the medium shot. So from the waist up, that's medium shot. And then the close-up or the extreme close-up. For example, this one is a long shot of a jeepney. And then this is extreme long shot of a tree. So you have the landscape there. And then you have the medium shot, close-up, extreme close-up. How about this one? Can you type what shot this is? What do you think? Can you chat? Can you write your answers in the chat box? Long shot. Very good. Yes, that is a long shot. Thank you. How about this one? Obviously, it's a, what do you, close up. Very good. Very good. So what if what if the subject that you want to take a picture of is a few meters away from you, but you want to take a picture of him, of the subject, you want to take a bigger shot of the person or of the subject? What do? Do you digitally zoom? Do not digitally zoom. If you want to zoom, zoom with your feet. So again, if you want to take a picture, a bigger shot of your subject, do not zoom digitally. Do not, because it would lower the resolution. It will become blurred. So what you do, you zoom with your feet, meaning you move closer, so that even if you take a shot closer to the subject, even if you zoom it, it would still be clearer. And sometimes, if you want to edit it, you would still be able to edit it because the shot that you took is high res. So what you want to do is to experiment also with perspectives. And that's where angles come in. There are different angles. There are different shots by camera angle. So you have the eye level, meaning the camera is at the level of the eyes of the subject. And then low angle would mean the camera is located below. So you have the camera here and it's below the eye line of the subject. And then you have high angle. The camera is higher than the eye line of the subject. Okay. So this one is eye level. What is the impression when you take the shot at eye level? There is more interaction. It's as if your subject is talking to the viewer. That is eye level. So you are able to invite the person into the image. It's as if the viewer becomes part of the story. For low angle, the subject becomes bigger. Okay. Subject becomes bigger. And for high angle, the subject becomes smaller, like this one. That is why selfies are taken on a high angle, so that the subject, like you, if you take selfies, you want to take a picture with a high angle shot, so that you will become smaller. Okay. Especially for women, do not take pictures of women na low angle kasi lalaki. Okay. So you want to take it either eye level or a bit higher. Right. So that's those are the different perspectives: the eye level, the low angle, the high angle. If you would see in videos, for example, or in movies, when there is a very important person, usually the angle is low angle, so that before it becomes eye level, because the director would want to have the impression that the important person is really important. Okay. Or if you have a murderer, sometimes the murderer is taken from a low angle, to make the murderer more powerful. And if the victim is lower, it's taken on a higher angle so that the victim would become powerless. But then again, there are different perspectives depending again on your story. I will show you some pictures. This is just a figurine that is in a shelf. And because of the angle, there are different stories, or there are different perspectives that were taken just because of the angling of the camera. For example, this one. So it's the same figurine, but because of the angling, it has become the story has become different. Now this one is a sunflower taken from high angle. So I took the shot. I took this shot with the sunflower on the ground. So you would see the different pots around it. But then I took another picture. I raised up the sunflower and with the background of the sky. Then you have a different perspective. A more dramatic perspective of the sunflower. Or this one, you would see the pattern. It was taken from above. Or look at the trees, taken from below. So you would see the sky, you would see light filtering through. Okay. Next principle is mind the background. A lot of times when you take photographs, we forget to check the background. A lot of times after the event, we look at the pictures and we see funny pictures, or we see that we failed to check the background, and we cannot use the photographs, especially for documentation, because the photo was not taken the right way. For example, this one, if you would see, so you have a picture of the lady, but then it seemed like she has a toga, right? It's like she's graduating. It's actually a roof of the house. Or this one, it's as if the leaves grew out of her back. Or this one, you have metal spikes coming out of her. Or this one, it's like Mary was placed on top of her. Or this one, it's as if trees grew out of her head. Or this one, it's as if a post was placed through her head, okay, when it could have been taken this way. And then with your background, you can be more poetic. For example, this one, you have an old man going down the hill to the sunset. This is sunset scene. And so you have an old man at the sunset of his life. Isn't that poetic? Okay. Or ordinary things with a good background will give you other stories. For example, this one, you just have the finger heart, and you have a background, and you can put a text to that. You can add the text to the image. Or this one, you see images exploding out of you see the subject exploding out of the image because you have placed the object with a very, very good background. Or this one, the cross, okay, the crucifix with on the bed of sawdust. Okay, and we all know that Jesus is a carpenter, so this image can be very poetic. Or you have an image of a crucifix again with a plain background, and you can put text to it. So again, you can play around with backgrounds. You can play around with perspectives and have different stories. Again, the basic element in photography is the image, is a story in your mind. Next principle, exclude the unnecessary. What shouldn't be in the picture shouldn't be in the picture. Again, what shouldn't be in the picture shouldn't be in the picture. For example, this one. What is very important is just the face. So, there, just the face. Because that is important. All the other things are unnecessary. Or for example, this one. You are putting so much into the frame that shouldn't be there. When what is important is again just the face. Or this one. It may seem like the lady, the girl, she's like a model of the sofa. When the full sofa is not necessary. What you need is just this. Or this one. You just need this. Another example is this. Again, you don't need everything in what you see. You don't need everything. What you want to focus on, then focus on it. Move towards the subject so that it is very clear that it would be very clear to your viewer what your subject is. Okay, another quick exercise. I want you to get your object and then move around. Move your object around with your phone cam following it, and look for different perspectives. Take a shot if you want to, but just move your object around with your camera following it and look through your lens. Okay, so that through the different perspectives, you'll be able to imagine the different stories that you can create just through the different perspectives. I will just give you 1 minute again. And then when you're done, you can turn on your cams and show your picture. So you can move up or down, have different backgrounds. Okay. Is anyone ready with a photograph? If you're ready, you can message in the chat box and let us know. Let us know if you want to share your photograph. Erica? Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Very interesting perspectives. I see a stuffed toy. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Julian. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. I will resume. Okay. So as you can see, you can have different stories. You just have to move your camera and put your subject in different perspectives so that you can have good stories to tell. Okay. So later, after this session, you can take pictures, you can experiment with more images, and then have different stories depending on the perspective of your subject. Okay. Depending on the perspective of your shot. So you can have different perspectives. You can have different stories. Another way to put your subject in a very good story is to frame the subject. So you add other layers to the image so that the object, the subject, would become more attractive, more inviting. For example, this one. So you have the face of the girl, of the lady, and then you put another layer. So it's as if you're framing her face. And as you frame her face, it stands out even more. Or when you take a picture of a building, so you can add another layer to it, while by framing it with leaves or framing it with different things. Or you frame a person like this one, so by the door, by the entryway. So these are samples of framing the subject. You can create your own frame like this one. For example, if you take a picture of this one, this is what you call macro photography. So a very small object becomes big. That's why it's macro photography. Depending on your phone camera, or depending on your camera, the clarity of the image would depend on the distance. So depending on the distance of the camera to the subject, to the small subject, then the clarity would be different. So again, it depends on the camera that you're using. Next is keeping the horizon straight. I've seen a lot of pictures of friends, of people in social media. They have very good sceneries in front of them. But because the horizon is not straight, it becomes, the world becomes tilted. So to keep the horizon straight, the horizon should be straight. Even if the shoreline is diagonal, the horizon should be straight. This one, you've seen this. Connected to this is would be the lines. The lines of the photograph, the lines in the frame should be parallel to the frame, like this tree. The tree on the right side is parallel to the frame. If you don't have it parallel to the frame, it would look like the world is tilted. You've seen this next image. Again, this is about depth of field. So you have a very shallow depth of field. But because of the distance of the camera, okay, to the subject, the subject is very, very clear depending on the camera that you have and the modes that you have that you adjusted. Okay, the camera modes that you have adjusted. So again, this is 5.6 for the aperture. And so you would see that the background is very blurred. Okay. Another thing that I forgot, a very important thing that I forgot, when you take a picture, a lot of cameras are automatic. So if you have a subject in front of you, for example, this one, just this one, this is a clicker. If you have a subject in front of you, so you see it in your camera, so you tap your camera where your subject is focused. If you do that, the whole camera setting would adjust to the focus of your subject. Okay. If you tap it in another part, then the subject will not be as focused as you want it to be. So it's a matter of tapping your screen. So you tap where you want the whole camera to focus on. So the next part would be editing. What I have been using for editing is Pixlr because for me, it's very easy to use. It's very user friendly. It's available on mobile. I don't need internet connection to use it. So everywhere I go, I can use it as long as I download all the elements that I need in Pixlr. So I download all the elements, the fonts, the filters, all the modes when I'm connected to the internet. And then when everything is downloaded, I can use it offline. So I use Pixlr. Of course, I also use Canva, but I use Pixlr more in editing photos. So once I've edited the photos in Pixlr, then I move it to Canva so I can add other elements to it. That's what I do. Okay. For example, this one, I've edited this in Pixlr. It came from this image. Or this one, I've edited it from this one. Or this one from this one. This one. Can you guess what the background is? Wanna guess what that background is? A glass. Yeah. Flower. Yes, it is a flower. It's a lampshade. It's a lampshade that I've edited and I made it into this. Okay. Now I want to now let's go to editing. Do you have your Pixlr with you? Did you install it or do you already have it with you? Let me adjust something. If you have a quick question, then while I'm fixing my desktop, anyone who has a quick question, we can have about 5 minutes for quick questions.
Yes, anyone who has a question po, please type it in the Zoom chat po. If you have any questions or comments for our speaker, you can send them through the chat box or use the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. Ayan, meron na po tayong question from Leka Maris Caleja po. What if you are taking a photo of a landscape? Do you use panorama po?
Yeah, you may use panorama. Yes. You, just make sure that's where clipping your arms would help. Okay. So that when you move your camera, so that if you move your camera, your hand will not shake. Okay.
Thank you po. For ito pong question from Sofia Isabel Cabral. If I am not mistaken po, you are a graduate of BS Psychology. As a future psychologist, can you picture taking pictures or photography help me in my chosen profession? Why or why not?
Oh, it was mentioned earlier that I teach media, photography, social media, for evangelization. I teach it in different seminaries and formation programs because when they take pictures, you would see a glimpse of how they think. There a lot of times the pictures that we take would convey the way we think or our relationship with God, because I also use photography in retreats. So when I do that, they are able to connect with themselves and they're able to convey it through the image. So yes, photos, just like painting, just like drawing, can actually help you in expressing yourselves, and it would also help you understand where people are coming from. But then again, it shouldn't be the main basis for evaluating what people think. It's just one part. So you can use photography to understand where people are coming from, but we cannot make conclusions just based on this modality. So there are other things that you have to check to understand people. So yes, photography can help in psychology or understanding behavior, understanding emotions. understanding how people think. Okay, so we'll stop there. We'll get into the other questions later, but let me share some examples in editing. Do you see Pixlr in your screens?
Yes po, ma'am.
All right. All right. So, so this is how Pixlr in mobile, in Android looks like. I'm sure you've edited a lot of photos already using your mobile applications. But again, as I said, Pixlr is one of my favorites because it's easy. So I will tap on photo, and then I will look for images like this one, for example. If I want to, I will go to the advanced already. I will not go to the basics because I know you know all these things already. But have you seen photos where only one part is colored while the other things are black and white? You can do that in Pixlr. For example, here, so I tap on the leftmost button. So that's adjustment. And then I tap on splash. So everything becomes black and white. Then I will tap on the eraser above. Then I will choose brush. And then using the brush, I will color what I want colored. There. Again, sorry, this will not be perfect because of time. And so you can see there that only the heart is colored. But what if I make a mistake? For example, may lampas. What I can do is tap on the eraser and then I use it to erase the error. And then I can tap on the brush again. Oops. I will adjust the size. So again, this will not be perfect. So I tap on check, done, save. And then okay. Saving. There. It's saved. Easy, right? Okay. Oh, by the way, that is my apo. So cute, no? Cute. She's the daughter of my nephew. Okay. Another example. I'll be using the same thing. Then I can have filters. So tapping on the middle, and I have different filters here. So you have the filters, the effects here. And choose carry. There. And then I can have overlay. So I can use bokeh. So you will have the different lights there. Or what if I want rays? As in rays of the sun, as if as if there are rays overlay, and then there, the beam. And then I can adjust it. It's as if there's power coming out of the heart. Let's check. Done. Save image. Okay. There. Easy, right? How about I use this as what if I change the color? I can change the color of the heart. So I tap on the leftmost and then adjustment. And then I look for hue. And then I adjust. See? And change. So depending on the color you like it to be. So again, just like anything, experiment. Experiment with Pixlr. Oh, I forgot. Text. How to put text. So tap on text, tap on T. And then, what's a good text for this? Let's say love rules. So next, put it here. I'll change the font to make it clearer. What's a good color? I'll just make it. So if it's the first time for you to use Pixlr, connect to the internet and download everything, the filters, the effects, the fonts, so that you can use it offline. There. All right.
Ma'am, can we continue the question portion na po?
I'll end lang.
Okay.
I'll just end the session.
Yes po. Sige po.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So those are the different major things that I want to share this afternoon with you in mobile photography. The most important thing in photography is to know your story. What is it that you want to share with people? What do you want them to be inspired about? Because what we want to use photography for is for inspiration. We want to share life. We want to share joy. We want to share about God. And we want to share the beauty of the world that God has created. And you want to tell that story with people. And as you use your mobile cameras, experiment, experiment, and experiment. Anyway, taking many shots would be free. Take as many shots as you want. Have different modes. Use different modes. Use different perspectives for one subject, and you will create different stories. And those stories would be able to inspire people. Would be able to move people to appreciate the what you have in front of you as well. And as you take photographs, let us have fun. Let's just have fun, because we need fun in this world, especially during this pandemic. We need to relax. We need to express ourselves. So take your digital twins with you and move around your house, move around your room and take photos. Or go outside in your garden or wherever you can and just take photographs and capture the world with joy, because there is joy even in the ordinary. So again, thank you very much. I am Mom Lopez, thanking you for joining me in this afternoon of Finding Joy in the Ordinary.
Thank you, Miss Bob.
You're welcome. Thank you also.
We will now open the floor for comments and questions for our speaker, if you have any. We encourage you to share your thoughts, which can be in the form of questions, sharing of insights, or realization. To facilitate our open forum, kindly click the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called before unmuting to speak. You may also use the chat box to send your question and I will read them for you so the speaker can address it. So, ayan po. Kanina po may question dito si George Estopase po. How do we decide aspect ratio po?
Depending on how you will use your photograph. If you're going to use it for background in your presentations, it would be best to use 16:9. And then for social media, ang safe para sa akin for social media is square, because I can use it for Instagram and also in Facebook. Now for the sizes of the images, the social media platforms, sometimes they change the sizes every year. So you can Google it, you can search for best size for social media, and then they will give you the exact aspect ratio that you need for your images in the platforms. But for me, I just use square for social media. And then for laptop, for my presentations, I use 16:9. Okay. I hope that answers your question.
Ayan, thank you po, Miss Bob. So, baka may mga questions pa kayo dyan, nahihiya lang magtanong yung iba.
Okay. What, while you're looking or while you're thinking of questions, what is the most significant learning for you this afternoon? Ano yung pinaka, ganun pala yun. Yung parang aha. What is your aha moment this afternoon?
As for me po, ma'am, sobrang dami ko pong nalaman ngayon about mobile photography po kasi mostly po kapag hawak lang po yung phone, picture na lang po ng picture. Hindi na po alam yung mga compositions. Meron, as for me po parang big realization po na hindi lang po dapat picture ng picture. We must know our story to inspire others po and to experience life po and to share the life we have for others po.
Yes, thank you.
Or Julian Domingo Nieves po. Realization, what I've learned, the different perspective of angles that shows different stories.
Yes, that's very good.
And kay Otemar po, the beauty of photography lies in the idea that one can tell a powerful story through a captured image.
Yes, very good. Yeah.
And po kay Sophia Isabel Cabral, Ma'am, it is not a question, but I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude and gratefulness for this webinar.
Thank you very much.
Also for your expertise, shared with love and faith. Continue to inspire students like us, ignited with our passion and compassion. Let us take pictures and continue to be witness of God. God bless po.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. If you don't have questions, baka pwede pa ako magsabi ng iba pang tips.
Go ahead po, ma'am.
While we still have time.
Yes,
okay.
Po.
Better if you correct camera correct picture taking. Picture taking would be best ng anong oras? When the sun is when the sun is on the east or west, meaning mga early in the morning to 9 o'clock, kasi di ba, sun, 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Mainit, pero kasi kung 12 noon, I'll show you an example. Kung 12 noon, so the sun will be up here, magkaka-shadow kayo sa face. Okay? So, magkaka-shadow kasi magkakaroon ng shadow dito sa eyes, sa nose. Pag yung light ay nasa taas. Okay? Tapos, syempre, ayaw nyo naman masyadong madilim. If you adjust kasi kung masyadong madilim, tapos mag-a-adjust kayo ng camera modes, magiging grainy din minsan ang pictures. So, it is best na it's best na pag maliwanag. And then, ang best then ay natural light more than fluorescent, more than the room light. Best would be natural light. So, go out of the house, go out of the room, and take the pictures there. Para mas maganda yung dating ng light. And then, kung may group picture, make sure that even yung lighting ng lahat ng tao, hindi pwedeng yung iba nasa shade, yung iba wala sa shade. Kailangan, kung lahat nasa shade, lahat nasa shade. Kung lahat nasa arawan, lahat nasa arawan. Okay? Hindi kasi maganda na iba-iba yung kulay ng tao sa group picture. What else? When kuwari may outing kayo, I always say this, kung may outing kayo, wear something that is bright. Do not, as much as possible, wear something that is bright. Why? To make the color, to make the picture look more lively. Okay. So, for example, kung nasa beach kayo, wear something bright. Huwag naman kayong magsuot ng gray. Otherwise, para lang may head na naglalakad sa beach. Kasi kung naka-gray kayo, hindi kayo makikita sa photos. Kasi you're mixing with the background. It's the same thing as if you are going to go hiking, you do not wear green. Because if you get lost, people will find it difficult to look for you because naka-camouflage kayo. So wear something that can be that can be seen, where you can be seen.
Ma'am, ito po, we have question po from Andrew. Any tips in taking astrophotography?
Oh, honestly, I haven't done astrophotography because I don't have access to the sky. Not too much. Here, where I am now, where I live, there are so many houses around me. I don't get to see a lot of stars. If you want, you can send me an email, or you can look for me in Facebook. I'll give you other tips on that. Okay.
Yes. Just
I
email
can.
us, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. I can. Parang offhand, I can share, pero it will just be sharing from the mind. I haven't really experienced it, but I haven't done it yet. But it would be a good. My friends are doing it, and because they're in the mountains, they have access to the stars. I don't have access to the stars. What I only have are access to street lights or house lights.
And we have realization po from Jan Tan. I've learned more technical terms in photography such as the types of shot, level perspectives, and the shutter speed. Thank you po for this webinar and God bless.
Thank you very much.
And from
yeah.
Go po, ma'am. Go ahead po.
Yes, regarding perspectives, when you take photographs of kids, it's best that you squat and take the picture at their level, so that it's not as if you are looking down at them. So if you're documenting kids, it's best that you squat, and then the camera will be on their level, eye level nila. It's as if you are entering their world, and you're not just looking down them. Okay.
From Duan Xavier Bandan po, you can do long exposures of the sky given that the sky is clear of any clouds by a telescope or binoculars. Have a dark area to take pictures of the sky. In relation po ata to the astrophotography.
Yes. Thank you.
Ayon. Wala na po bang questions, insight, realizations? Anything to add po, ma'am?
Just take pictures. And I travel a lot. Before the pandemic, I would travel a lot, and a lot of times I only have myself to talk to and God. So minsan may papakita sa akin si God na ang ganda-ganda ng scene, and I don't have anyone to talk to. So I just capture it on camera, and then I share it with people. And a lot of times people would tell me, "Thank you for capturing that shot, because it's as if we are traveling with you." And I've seen a lot of travel images in social media, and I appreciate them because I won't be able to reach the place where they are, but at least I get to see where they are. So yeah, let's give more to the world by capturing images. There are so many things that the Lord is telling us, the Lord is sharing with us, and we want to share that with the others. Every sunset is different. Every sunrise is different. Every image of yung combination of lights and clouds, they're different every time. And the Lord has created all those things. So we want to share that with others. Parang minsan may makikita kang whale sa sky, or makikita kang angel or heart, or we want to capture that kasi that is God communicating with us. And a lot of times when we see some images in the sky, because it's a formation of clouds, the Lord is speaking to us. Diba? So let's open our eyes to the beauty that is around us, even in the ordinary things. So I hope you will enjoy photography more, because you will have different perspectives and you will be moved by your own stories to tell. So again, thank you very much for joining this workshop. I hope you enjoyed it.
My last realization and question na lang po tayo. From Niaslin Karen, quick realization, every individual has different stories to tell, and sometimes because of our own stories, we also tend to interpret others' photographs differently. For example, in social media, people judge others just because of a simple photograph they've posted. I only hope for people to become more aware and careful when sharing ideas, because a simple picture does not actually encompass the whole life story of a person. That's it, and thank you so much for your time, Miss Bob. And
you're welcome.
Last
I agree. Sorry, I agree. Just like any painting, any drawing, it is an expression. We cannot judge the person and say, ay, ganito siya, because it's his expression. It's the person's expression. And the way that you understand it is your story. It's already your story. It can merge with the story of the author, but how you take it is a different story. Okay. So because we see things differently and we express things differently, so the viewer and the author might have different ways of understanding. Again, different perspectives, different stories, different perspectives, different backgrounds, different life stories. So again, no judgment. No judgment. Thank you.
And for our last question po, from Xavier Bondad po ulit, where can we share our pictures with you so that you can comment and give further tips on how to better compose our shots?
Okay, you can look for me in Facebook. Yeah, mas Facebook ako than parang tanda ko na, kasi Facebook pa rin ako. But Facebook or Instagram. Pero mas nasa Facebook ako kasi that's where I'm able to share more. So Facebook or Instagram would work. Just look for Bob Lopez.
Papahabol na lang po natin yung kay Krisha Santo Domingo. Thank you so much, Ma'am Bob, for sharing your knowledge about this topic. I have gained some clarification about taking pictures. Now I understand ISO, aperture, shutter speed, and the rule of thirds better than before. Rest assured, I will use this knowledge to write better stories through photography. God bless.
Thank you very much.
Ayan, if you have... Ay, ma'am, ano pa?
Sorry, yes. Meron pa akong meron akong FB page. So I have a personal account, but there's an FB page. It's Pick to Pray. So I turn photographs into prayers. So you can share your images there. It's open. So you put your image there, you put the text with your image, and then you can share reflections.
Thank you so much, Miss Bob.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ayan po, thank you. And to those who participated in the open forum, we have come to the end of the program. We hope that we have all learned something from this ACP topic and have been inspired or challenged to use our talents and skills and get involved in programs and advocacies that would impact on people empowerment and social development. To show our gratitude for Ms. Bob Lopez for her time and effort, we now present the Certificate of Appreciation with the citation Office of Student Affairs, Ateneo de Naga University, presents this Certificate of Appreciation to Maria Cristita O. Lopez in grateful recognition of her expertise and service as resource speaker in the alternative class program, Finding Joy in the Ordinary, mobile photography workshop held on April 29, 2021, given this 29th of April 2021 at the Ateneo de Naga University, City of Naga, Philippines. Signed by Rodolfo S.B. Virtus Jr., Director of Student Affairs, Janet B. Badong Badilla, Executive Director for Mission and Identity, Dr. Alfredo C. Fabay, Vice President for Higher Education, and Father Roberto E.N. Rivera S.J., University President. Again, we thank Ms. Bob. This ACP session will not be possible without your presence. Once again, let us all give a warm round of virtual applause to Ms. Bob Lopez.
Thank you. Can we take a picture? Is it okay if we take a picture? Can someone from your team take a picture for us?
Ate MJ.
Is it okay if you turn on your cameras? Just one class picture. I'd appreciate it.
Kindly open your cameras, guys.
If you can. Only if you can.
Yeah. Isa pa po ate MJ, magbibilang po tayo. 1, 2, 3.
Madami pong pages. Wait lang.
It's okay. It's okay.
Ayan, okay na po.
Okay na? Thank you very much,
Thank you,
everyone.
Miss.
God bless you all.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Sayang, no?
God bless.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Now, before we
Thank you
end this
po.
activity, please be reminded to fill out the evaluation forms we posted in the Google Classroom and the Zoom chat. The certificate of attendance shall only be rewarded to those who accomplish the evaluation forms. Make sure that you input the correct spelling of your names on the evaluation form. Otherwise, your certificate's name shall be misspelled. We hope that you enjoy this workshop and actually gain insights and new learning from it. This ends our workshop on Finding Joy in the Ordinary Mobile Photography Workshop. Thank you for being with us in the Alternative Class Program 2021. Please stay healthy and safe, everyone. Just mabalos. Thank you po.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.